Alright, Shalom. Before I get into my lesson, I want to start off giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi, Ba'ashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, the Ruel, and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers in the faith and in the doctrine and in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi. It's the brother Shaquat Gabar from the Great Millstone, Charlotte Camp, coming at you with another lesson. Like always, before I get into my lesson, the message is to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, man. And the Lord is looking for the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. But those are the elect, chosen Israelites that's going to be saved in this up and coming time of the destruction of America, man. And I'm going to touch on a lesson about the destruction of America, mainly. It's going to be destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles in this World War III. But I'm going to touch on about Yahawashi, who the word English called Jesus Christ, a so-called Negro or a dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, is going to come back in these last days to return to fight against the so-called white man, army, his military, and the rest of these nations, man. Because what's about to happen is World War III. And all these nations that is about to be gathered up to go over there in the Middle East, man, to fight against each other. But while they fight against each other, Yahawashi is going to intervene by coming back with the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots. Him and the angels are going to fight against these militaries of these different heathen nations, man. And the Lord is going to destroy them, man, and win this battle or this war against these heathens, and bring their kingdom down, starting with the so-called white man, the Edomites, which are on top, man. So basically, I'm going to get into the scripture, and it read the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And the clouds represent the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots, man. Those are the clouds, and they are the vehicles that Yahawashi is going to come back and return in, man, right along with the host of angels, man. And it said, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierce him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Amen. So basically the Lord said every eye, man, those that's going to be living in the time of Yahawashi return, because you're going to have a lot of our people, or a lot of people here on the earth is going to die in the up and coming great judgment that Yahawashi is going to bring, man. You're going to have martial law. You're going to have famine. You're going to have these concentration camps. You're going to have race wars. World War III breaking out. And a lot of our people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are joined in with the heathens in their military, man. Mainly our people like to be or join the military of the U.S., man. And the U.S. military is going to be destroyed by Yahawashi and by these other nations, man. So it's a bad time for you Israelites to be in the so-called white man military, man. The American military, which is going to be destroyed, man. And it said, I'm going to read it again, Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierce him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Amen. So all these nations, and all these people, when Yahawashi return with the angels, man, they're going to be in mourning, man. They're going to be in terror, man. They're going to not know what's going on. But they, or actually, they really is going to know, even though they're going to be confused, but they're going to know through the spirit that it's the Son of the Heavenly Father, man. Yahawashi, when he showed himself in them chariots, man. When he come back and bring destruction by the ways of those chariots, by shooting fire and laser beams out of them, man. And that's how the Lord is going to fight against the so-called white man, starting off with the Edomites military, man. The American military, the Edomites military, NATO, the Russia, the Chinese, the Japanese, all these nations that got a great military during the time of World War III. The Lord Yahawashi is going to fight against them and destroy them, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter
66, verse 15. And it reads, For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and with his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Lord is coming back with fire, man. And he's coming back to rebuke these nations by shooting his laser beams on them, man. Concentrated fire, which is a laser beam, man. Destroying these heathen nations' armies, man. And our people, 2/3 of you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, that's going to be joined in with these militaries, man. Y'all going to catch the wrath of Yahawashi also, too, man. And they say he's coming to send fire, man, by the ways of the chariots, man. Continue on. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So right here in the scripture, man, it said the Lord is coming back with fire, man, and by his sword. And the sword represents destruction, man. The sword is a killing instrument, man. So it's symbolic talk for Yahawashi coming back with them angels with the chariots to bring fire on this place, man, and destroy these cities, man, especially America, man, and these people, man, these people in these nations' military, man. And it said, the slain of the Lord shall be many. So it's going to be a lot of our people, right along with these heathens, is going to be destroyed by the way of the chariots, man, when Yahawashi return and bring fire upon this place, man. Because there's going to be a lot more people that's going to die and be put to death than people being saved, man. Because the elect, which is going to be saved, is a few number, man. 144,000 and a 1/3, man. That's a remnant or low seed or number that's going to be saved compared to how many people of our people, how many Israelites of our people is going to die, man. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3. The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And the Gentiles in this statement is talking about the heathens, man. The original heathens, man, which are the Edomites, the so-called white people, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Africans, the Hawaiians, Samoans, all these heathen nations. They got their military, man. The Lord telling them to proclaim and to make known amongst them, to wake up and get ready for war, man. And that's what you're seeing here today in these times, man. These nations preparing for World War III, man, and for their great battle against Yahawashi, man. But that's what it's going to lead to, man. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of the earth, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I am strong. So that's what you're seeing now, man. You're seeing all these weak countries that were once, just known for their agriculture, taking all their money and putting it in their resources, when it comes to food, their land, their shelters, their house, their homes. But now the Lord putting the spirit on them, instead of taking that money and putting it toward their land, they putting it toward their, basically their military, man. So the Lord is gearing them up for this World War III, man. And, it said, let the weak say I am strong. So now you got these weak nations becoming a military power, man. And they join hands with Russia, which is a superpower, China, India, Iran, all these nations are gathering up to fight against America and NATO in this up and coming World War III, man. And while they fight each other, like I say, Yahawashi is going to come back with the host of angels, with the armies of the angels of the chariots, and fight against them, man. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weak, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Lord is gathering all these heathens over there in the Middle East, man. That's where the valley of Jehoshaphat mean, man. And that's where it at, man, in the Middle East. The valley of Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew meaning Yahawashi, meaning Yahweh's judgment, man. Because that's where in the Middle East, where the Lord is going to judge these heathen nations, man, by making them fight against each other in this World War III and sending his son Yahawashi back and intervene and bring their armies down, man. A lot of these nations preparing for war, thinking whoever win this World War III, they're gonna come up on top and be the next world power, man. But Yahawashi is gonna deceive them, man. He's gonna come back and shut all their agenda or their hopes down, man. Verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come and get ye down, for the press is full, the fats is overflow, for their wickedness is great. So the Lord is about to judge these nations because of their wickedness, man. Are they pushing their homosexuality, their own agenda, which is not a Yahawashi, pushing these false gods, these religions, doing what they feel like they want to do, man, and not considering the Creator, man, which is Yahawashi, man. So the Lord is going to judge them for their wickedness, man. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So we're coming into that day, man, the day that is near, which is World War III, and the destruction of America, and the destruction of these heathens, man, starting off with the so-called white people, man, these Edomites, man. The Lord is about to come back in these last days to bring their kingdom down, man, and set up the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect, man, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, to be on top over these other nations, man. But once Yahawashi come back and bring these other nations down, they're going to go into captivity or slavery under the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans in the kingdom of heaven, man, which is going to be here on the planet Earth, man. And they're going to have to rebuild our kingdom, man, and be tributaries or be up subject under us, man. That's it on that. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet. And the 10 horns represent the EU, man, the beast system, man, NATO, man. The main 10 colonies or countries or counties that run NATO, man, to run the beast system and the military, man. And continue on, and it said, but receive powers as kings 1 hour with the beast. And they have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So they're going basically going to exercise their military, man. They're going to go to war, man. And in that 1 hour, they're going to, take all their might, all their military force, and fight against Yahawashi, man. Verse 13. These have one mind, shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. So the Lamb represents Yahawashi, man. So they're going to make war with Yahawashi, man. That's why Trump, recently was talking about the space program or the space military, man, calling it the Space Force, man. Another branch of the U.S. military, man. And why, he's doing this? Because the Lord is saying this prophecy that the Lord is going to use these Edomites or set these Edomites up and these heathens to fight against Yahawashi when it comes down to this World War III. But the scripture said that the Lamb, Yahawashi, is going to overcome them, man. Let me read it again. Verse 14, Revelation 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, kings and King of kings, And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
So the Lord is the King of kings, man. The Lord of lords, man. The supreme being that Yahweh set up, man. He set Yahawashi up to be the king and ruler over everything, man. You know, that's why we worship Yahawashi, man. That's why we believe in the name of Yahawashi and have faith that he's going to return and set us up, man, as being the elect nation of Israel, man. The elect people of the nation of Israel, man, to be with him, man. That's why the scriptures say those that with him are faithful and chosen, man. Because the elect is also going to be with Yahawashi to fight against these Edomites, man, and these heathens, man. The Lord also going to raise his man up, which is part of his army also, man, to give his man spiritual power to take down the enemy, man. The so-called white people, man, the Edomites, and the rest of these heathen nations, which are our enemies, man. So it's going to be an all-out battle between Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting off with the elect, getting that power, fighting against the rest of these heathens, man. With these heathens, this in particular, the main enemy, these Edomites, man, the so-called white people, man, the white race, so-called white race. And that's it on that. So that point just proving that these Edomites, the beast system, which are Edomites, the so-called Illuminati, the elites, the super rich bankers that control everything, especially through their military might, you know, right along with America, they're going to fight against Yahawashi, and they're not going to prevail, man. The Lord is over them, and when the Lord is set up to be over them, he's going to conquer them by the way of his military, the angels, man, the chariots, which the world called UFOs, man. They are not green men or little green monsters or creatures, man. They are angels, man, and the angels look like dark-skinned men. And in all actuality, the angels look like so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's how the angels look, man, including Yahawashi himself being a so-called Negro, man, from the tribe of Judah, once again. And, and these devils, these Edomites, man, the elites, they know, man. They know that Yahawashi is about to return, man. They got the historical facts about Yahawashi's existence. They got the prophets out here, you know, proclaiming the words of Yahawashi, man. They seeing their kingdom falling, man. You know, only thing they can do is go along with prophecy, man. Because Yahawashi is the control of everything, man. And the Lord set them up to be the deceived, thinking that they're going to overcome Israel, and think they're going to overcome the Lord, man, by fighting against him. But the Lord got them deceived, thinking that he's going to win the battle, but in all actuality, man, he's going to fail miserably, man, when Yahawashi return to make war against these heathens, man. Especially you Edomites, man, you elites, man. Y'all kingdom is going to fail, man. Your new world order that you want to establish is going to fail, man. The Lord is going to destroy your new world order, man, and set up his new world order, which are the children of Israel, man. Starting off with the elect ringing over the earth once again, man. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 11, and it reads, I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And the heavens talking about the outer space, you know, out in the atmosphere, man. He said he saw heaven open, and appeared was a white horse, man. White represent purity, and horse represent power, man. Pure power, you know, that the scripture is saying, man. And what is that pure power that's going to be coming from the heaven? It's going to be Yahawashi and the host of angels, man. That's going to come back and bring destruction to these nations, man. And it said, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So the Lord coming back to judge in righteousness and to make war against these nations, you know, these heathen nations, man, in righteousness, man. Because they are wicked, man. They are evil, man. And they are not of the righteous seed, man. They were set up to go against the children of Israel and to come against the children of Israel power, Yahawashi. So the Lord see them or count them as his enemies, man. And the Lord is going to come back and bring war against these heathens, man. And against you 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that's going to be joint hand
with the heathens, man. And continue to read on. Verse 12. His eyes was a flame of fire, and on his head was many crowns. And the flame of fire, his eyes represent, the flame of fire of his eyes represent the fury and the anger that he's going to come back with, man. Because the Lord Yahawashi is pissed off, man. Look how his creation is being being breaking down, man. The earth is breaking down. The people that the Lord created, man, they don't acknowledge Yahawashi Yahawashi, except for the elect, man. They don't care about the Lord, man, especially his own people, man. The so-called white man, the white race, especially the Edomites, the elites of them, they blaspheme the name of the Lord, man, his word, man. They're pushing all type of wickedness against the Lord, law, statute, commandments, and his people, man. So the Lord is coming back with fury and the anger that represent the flames of fires of his eyes, man. Represent all the anger that he's about to come with, man. With those chariots, man. And it said on his heads were many crowns. And the reason why he's going to have the the many crowns represent on his head is that he's going to take down all these kingdoms, man. He's going to take down the so-called white man kingdom, the Edomites. He's going to take down the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the Africans. All these heathens, these high top elites, heathen kingdoms that's in rulership right now. The Lord Yahawashi is going to come back and bring them down, man. That would represent the many crowns that's going to be on his head, man. And he's going to be the king over everything, man. And he's going to set up his elect to also to be kings with him. That's why his title is King of Kings, man. He's the king of the kings, man. Because the elect men are also going to be kings with Yahawashi, man. But he's going to be the top king. Continue on. And it said, he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And the reason why I say that, because majority of the people out here do not know the name of the Lord, man. They call the name, which his name is Yahawashi. They call him Jesus Christ, man, or Yeshua, or Yeshaya, or any other false name that which is not the Lord's real name, man. That's why they don't know the name of the Lord, man. Only the elect is gonna know the name and truly believe in the name, man. And praise and have faith in the name of Yahawashi, man. Now I'll continue on, and it reads on. It says, verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the word of Yahweh, or the word of power. The word of power. And the reason why his title is the word of power, because Yahawashi is the word, man. He's the spirit that controls everything, man. The Most High, who the word we call God, which his name is Yahweh in the Paleo Hebrew, he set up Yahawashi to be the king and ruler over everything, man. And he's represent the word of God, meaning he's the spirit that's written in the book, man. That's why we, the brothers here at Great Millstone, and those in the spirit and power of Yahawashi Yahawashi, that's why we understand the scriptures, man. And we pray that we part of that elect, man, because that's the chosen people. Now that's the only people that the Lord is dealing with right now, the elect of the nation of Israel, man. And so it said that his name is called the word of power, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. So the Lord is going to be in a chariot, man, and he's going to have also other chariots, which are the angels, also going to be traveling in to make the comeback and go to war right along with Yahawashi, man, against these heathen nations, man. Against these heathen nations and their army, man, their military during World War III. And it could continue to read on. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So they coming in that pure power, man. That's what it's talking about. Verse 15. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations. And out of his mouth goes a short sword. A sword is talking about the laser beams, man. The concentrated fires that they're going to shoot out those chariots, man. And they show you, Esau know, because he show you in different so-called sci-fi movies about how aliens invasion come and the UFOs shooting out laser beams.
But they really got that from the scriptures, man. They got that from Yahawashi and the angels coming back, bringing destruction upon their armies, man, and coming back to bring destruction upon these wicked people here on the earth, man, to judge them.
Continue on, and it said, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he shall tread the winepress and the fricassee and wrath of the almighty power.
So the Lord is coming back to bring rulership, man. Not just any rulership, his rulership, man. And for the nation of Israel, man, starting off with the elect, man.
This is the book of Esdras, chapter 13, verse 2. And it reads, and lo, there arise a wind from the sea, that it move all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his consciousness to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
So Esdras going into seeing Yahawashi returning with the host of angels, man, with the so-called UFOs, man, you know, which are the chariots, man.
And verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when he fleeth the fire.
So basically, the voice represents those missiles, or not the missiles, Salah. The voice represents the concentrated laser beams, man. The fire that the Lord is going to be sending out of the chariots, man, upon these people, and they, these people, you know, and these heathen nations, army, man, they military. Continue on, verse 5. And after this I beheld, lo, there was a gathering together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. You know, so basically he's talking about these armies, man, the militaries, you know, and all these heathen military, you know, the U.S. military, the Israeli military, man, Iran, Russia, China, India, Japan, all these heathen military is going to stop fighting against each other, to fight against Yahawashi, man, and they're going to lose miserably, man. And that's one of the things that Ronald Reagan say, man, you know, before he died, you know, in the early or late 90s, you know, I mean in the late 80s or early 80s when he was president, he asked if they was, you know, during all the times they was beefing or had allegations with other countries where they put their difference aside to fight an alien invasion, man. And they were going to happen in this time, man. You know, they're going to stop all that, you know, they battling against each other. They're going to stop and fight against Yahawashi, man. And they say he come out of the sea, and the sea represent the heavens, man. You know, because the heavens are also made out of water, out of elements of water, man. So that's what they're talking about. They're not actually talking about Yahawashi coming from out of the sea of an ocean. It's talking about the Lord coming from the heavens, man, the sky, which also represent water, man. Continue on. Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had driven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And that great mountain represent a giant so-called UFO, man. A giant chariot, man, that the Lord Yahawashi is going to be in, man, leading the rest of the so-called UFOs, the rest of the chariots, which are the angels that's going to follow him, man, for this battle, man. Continue on. And he, but I would have seen the region and place without the hill was graven, and I could not. So Esdras couldn't understand where the so-called UFO came from, man. It looked like a mountain, man, cut out, man. You know, it looked like he was explaining it like a top of a mountain being cut from the bottom of the mountain being risen in the sky, man. But he couldn't tell that it came from the mountain. Because in actuality, it wasn't a mountain, man. It was a chariot, man. A so-called UFO, man. A giant chariot that came from the heavens, man. And you got pictures and images of people seeing UFO sightings, man. Because those are signs that Yahawashi is about to return, man, and bring his kingdom, man, and bring wrath upon this place, man. And you see all type of chariots, man.
Continue on. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet this fight.
So these nations, man, once they see Yahawashi return in his glory in the chariots, man, they're going to be afraid to fight Yahawashi, man. But the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to fight against the Lord anyway, man. To fight against Yahawashi, man. And when they do that, man, they're going to lose, man.
Continue on. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lift up his hand, nor held sword, neither any kindling instrument of war.
So the Lord ain't, when the Lord fight against these military, man, he ain't going to have the common weapons like these militaries got here on the earth, man. Like the guns, the tank, you know, the fighter jet, you know, the nuclear missiles, you know. The Lord going to have a spiritual weaponry from a different element, man, from a different dimensions, man. Well, which are the laser beams, man, the chariots, man. Because the chariots are pure energy, man, you know. And when they fight against Esau, and these armies, the heathens army, when the Lord send these the laser beams out, man, they're gonna melt and turn everything into powder, man. You know, with one shot, man. It ain't gonna be no, you know, the Lord gonna shoot the lasers and they're gonna be missing, you know, or they're gonna hit their target, but they're not gonna, you know, destroy it. You know, they're gonna take one shot, man, and every missile or every laser beam that's gonna be shot is gonna be destroying everything that is touched, man. You know, they're gonna destroy everything that it hit. Continue on. Verse 10. But only I saw he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So basically the Lord is going to send lasers upon these people, man, upon these armies, man, upon these cities, man. The Lord also is going to be destroying America also too with fire, man, by the ways of them chariots and different other empires or kingdoms where the angels going to invade that, man.
Continue on, verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid.
So Esdras saw that when they went against Yahawashi, these armies, that Yahawashi, you know, counteract or destroy them by the waves of the chariots, man, by the laser beams, man. And like I say, every laser beam that's going to be shot, when it hit its target, man, it's going to leave nothing but burning and dust and, you know, and smoke, man. You know, disintegrating these armies, man, and these people, man. That's how much power Yahawashi is going to come with, man. You know, it ain't going to be no tainted power, man. It ain't going to be nothing weak, man. It's going to be a full force, man, for them chariots destroying these militaries, man.
That's it on that one, you know. And so we in some exciting times, man. You know, because you knowing the truth, man, you supposed to be looking for the day of Yahawashi coming back, man, with the angels, man, and bring the so-called white man, the Edomites, and the rest of these heathen nations down, man, so he can set up the nation of Israel, man. And we praying that we be part of that elect, man. The first ones that get the chance, that's going to get the chance, are going to be the ones that's going to ring with Yahawashi during the time of the kingdom, man, when the Lord set up the kingdom of heaven. That's why we go out there and push these videos. That's why we go push the word on the streets, put up these videos, man, praying to the Lord. Because we want to be part of the Lord Yahawashi army, man. We want to fight with our Lord also, man, against our enemies, man. This is Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. And it said, who is this that cometh from Edom, with dye garments from Bozrah,
And Edom represent you, Edomites represent you so-called white people, man. You know, and they say, who's this come from Edom, man, with dyed garments, man. And that who the scripture is talking about, asking the question about, is Yahawashi, man. And the way he's going to come into Edom, or to these different so-called white people empire, he's going to come by the ways of the so-called UFOs, man, the chariots, man. He's going to invade Europe. He's going to invade America. You know, wherever you Edomites at, man, the Lord is going to visit you by the ways of them chariots, man, to bring your kingdom down, man, and to bring judgment upon you so-called white people, man, you Edomites, man.
Verse 1, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
You know, so the Lord is going to travel in the greatness of his strength, man. And what's he's going to travel in? Those so-called UFOs, man, those chariots, which are the greatness of the strength of Yahawashi, man.
And it read on, and I speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
So the Lord also is going to save too, man. And who he's going to save? The elect of the nation of Israel, man. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And the confused faces that is Negro, Latino, and Native American descent, man. You know, that believe on him, Yahawashi, and believe on the Father, man, Yahweh, man. He's going to save them also by the ways of the UFOs, man. Because the chariots is not only going to bring destruction, they're going to bring salvation to the elect, man. And the way how they're going to save the elect is by beaming them up into the chariots, man.
Verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat.
So that represents the destruction that Yahawashi is going to bring to these Edomites, man. Right along to the rest of you heathens, and also to 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that want to join hand with the enemies, man, with these heathens, man.
Continue on. Verse 3, and I had trodden down the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me.
And the Lord said he trodden down the winepress alone, meaning that he came alone. There's not going to be no other power, man. Like how these people portray today, man. They think Buddha is going to show up or exist, or thinking that Islam or they gods, or the Egyptology, the Hametics, or African gods, you know, or Cesare Borgia, who is portrayed as being Jesus Christ today, man, as they portrayed to be the Lord today. They thinking he's going to come back. Now the Lord said he's going to travel alone, man. He's going to show you that he's the true power, man, and the only true power, being a so-called dark-skinned man, a Negro from the tribe of Judah, man.
I had trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I would tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garment, and I will sustain all my raiment.
So the Lord talking about the destruction he's going to bring by the ways of his might, by the ways of the chariots, man. You know, to destroy this place, man, and destroy these heathens and their armies, man, their military, man.
Continue on, verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come.
So the day of the Lord vengeance, meaning to come, you know, to pay back, you know, to come back and revenge his elect and revenge himself, man. Because the Lord also gonna get his revenge on you 2/3, or you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans for coming against him, man, and against these heathens, man. Especially you Edomites, man, because y'all betrayed yourself as being the Lord's chosen people, and betrayed yourself as being God and his son, so-called, you know, God and his son yourself, man. You know, y'all thinking, you got the world thinking that the so-called God and Jesus Christ, you know, Yahawashi, y'all thinking that, you got the world thinking that these so-called white people, man, and that's blasphemy, man. That's a filthy lie, man. For the Lord, Yahawashi, never looked like that, man. You know, the scriptures, the Holy Bible, the scriptures clearly say that Yahawashi is a dark-skinned man, you know. So the Lord's coming back to bring vengeance upon these wicked people, man. You know, and it says in his heart, represent his mind, man. So the Lord is constantly and always thinking about his return and coming back to bring this place down, man. And it says near, man. You know, I'm going to get this last scripture. And that's what Esau afraid of, man. That's what he want to stop this word, man. But he can't stop it, man. It's already prophesied that the Lord Yahawashi is going to come back, man, and that he's going to raise up the nation of Israel, man, starting off with the elect.
This is Daniel chapter 7 verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And who is this he, man? And he represent the Edomites, man. The top seats or the top chief house of Edom, man. The Amalekites, man. The so-called Illuminati, man. The super rich bankers. Like you Rothschilds, you Rockefellers, you DuPont, you know, you Gettys, you know, you McDonald's, you Clintons, all you super rich bankers, you know, that call yourself the Illuminati, man. The Lord said that, you know, that you blaspheme against them, man. Changing the law, statute, commandments, you know, going against the law, statute, commandments, changing the times of the season, man. You know, putting your own laws and so-called laws into effect, man, which is against Yahawashi. And it say, he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and that's how you done. What you done, man? You wear out the saints of the Most High. And the saints of the Most High are the Israelites, man. And you wear us out by the way of slavery, man. And so the Lord is going to come back and pay you Edomites. Come back and pay you Edomites back for all your wickedness that you done against him, his son, his son, and what you did against the nation of Israel, man. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Continue on. And they shall be given to his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times. So the Lord gave the Israelites, man, us, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, into the hands of you Edomites, man. You know, basically putting us in slavery under you so-called white people, man, and the rest of you heathen nations, man. And for a time, man. And the time's going to come that the Lord is going to turn back our captivity, man. That when he's going to deliver the nation of Israel from the hands of the so-called white man and the rest of these heathen nations, when Yahawashi come back with the host of angels, man, with the chariots. Continue on in verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, and to consume it, and to destroy it until the end. So the judgment is going to sit, man. And what is the judgment? That Yahawashi is going to return and bring the so-called white man down, man. His enemies, man. You know, mainly the Edomites, man. You know, and they say you're going to take away your dominion, man. Because the Lord Yahawashi is going to take away your dominion when he come back with the angels. And he also going to use the elect of the nation of Israel to take your dominion from you also, man. When he give us the power, you know, to put you Edomites and the rest of you heathen nations in slavery, man. Continue on, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So the Lord is going to give the power to the Israelites, man. Right after the destruction of America, you know, right after, you know, the Lord come back and bring the so-called white man and the rest of these heathen nations down, he's going to set up the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect that had the dominion and be the kings and the rulers over the rest of you nations, man, over you nations, and they're going to be, and we're going to be the ones that's going to be on top forever, man, you know. And it say all dominions shall serve and obey him. So all these heathens, man, starting off with you so-called white people, man, you elites, man, you Edomites, man, you know, and you average so-called white people also, man. The whole bloodline of Edom and the rest of these heathen nations is going to serve and obey Yahawashi, man, because he's the kings of kings, and he's the king of kings and the Lord of lords, man, the supreme being which Yahawashi, which Yahweh set up Yahawashi to be, man, and the elect, the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be joint heirs with him, man. We also going to be with Yahawashi too, man, you know, praying that I'm part of that number, man, that elect number, man, because it's going to be a glorious and beautiful thing, man, to reign with Yahawashi, man. You know, so brothers keep fighting, man, keep pushing this work, man, keep praying to Yahawashi, man, you know, to pray that we be part of that election, man, and we work and labor to enter into the elect, man, to be part of the Lord's kingdom, man, because that's what we're looking for, man. We're looking for the downfall of this place. We're looking for Yahawashi to come back with the angels, man, to bring destruction
to these Edomites, man, and to the U.S. Army and the rest of these military, man, NATO. You know, we looking for the Lord to come back and bring down our enemies, man, these heathen nations, and set us up on top, man. So till the next time, you know, brothers, keep fighting and keep pushing, man, because we almost out of here, man. So till the next time, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi, Ba'ashim, Rakah, Kodash, you know, praying that this video been edifying, man. Brothers, keep fighting and keep pushing, man, you know. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule well in the doctrine and in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi, and Shalom to the fellow laborers, man, the elect that's out there, man, the house of David, man. Shalom.